Good evening. This is Weekdays with Wendy, and I'm reading to you from the Love Your Neighbor, No Exceptions daily flip calendar. You can pick one of those up at the Edmond campus or the downtown campus, or if you're not able to go by one of the church campuses, just contact the church, let us know, and we'll make sure to get one of the calendars to you. Today's calendar reading is a quote by Nelson Mandela. As I walked out the door toward the gate that would lead to my freedom, I knew if I didn't leave my bitterness and hatred behind, I'd still be in prison. Nelson Mandela obviously was just an incredible person. He did so many things to transform life in South Africa, to bring an end to apartheid, and literally to change the world, that it's no wonder that he remains a hero to so many people, including myself. There are so many things that you could talk about that he accomplished, but one of the things that is not always mentioned that just astounds me is the transformation that took place in his life. Mandela joined the African National Congress, ANC, in 1944 to work to end apartheid, and he was committed to doing that through the method of nonviolence. And he would remain committed to a nonviolent way until 1960, when police fired at a crowd who were protesting, and they killed 60 people who were unarmed and only protesting in a non-violent way. After that, he was so discouraged, so angry, so frustrated that he felt that the only way to bring about change was to meet violence with more violence. And so he actually left South Africa. He had to sneak out because he wasn't permitted to leave. He went to Morocco and Ethiopia and went through military training so that he would be trained in violence. When he returned, it wasn't too long before he was arrested. He would eventually be tried and sentenced to a life sentence in prison. There he would endure hard manual labor, terrible conditions. He would be there when his mother passed away. And of course, he was not allowed to attend the funeral. Not too long after that, his eldest son, Thembe, who was a teenage boy, was tragically killed in a car accident. Not only was he not allowed to attend the funeral, but the prison guards refused to give him details about what had happened to his son. They just told him that he was dead. He would spend 27 years of his life missing out on those kind of moments for his family, missing out on raising his children. 27 years of his life wrongfully in prison. And then when he left prison, there was a change that had taken place. He was transformed, and he had given up his idea of violence as a response to violence, and once again held fast to the idea that nonviolence was the only way to truly bring about change for all. And he would make this quote, "As I walked out the door toward the gate that would lead to my freedom, I knew if I didn't leave my bitterness and hatred behind, I'd still be in prison." What amazes me is that you could take a person who was committed to violence, so much so that he went out and got the proper military training for it. You throw him in prison on an unjust charge. You brutalize him while he was there and deny him the moments with his family that were critical for anybody. You hold him there for 27 years, and then when he's released, he comes out more committed to peace and love than before. I'm convinced that that's the work of God. That God worked in Mandela's life, and Mandela was open to that work of God. That was a miracle that took place, a miracle that that country needed, for they needed Mandela. And Mandela was open to the work of God in his life. And because he was, a country and a world was blessed by his life and legacy. If God can work in the life of a person who is firmly committed to violence, thrown into prison and had to endure all of that, what can God do in our lives? Be open to the work of God. Be open to a commitment of kindness and love as a way to bring change in the world. We are to carry on God's work, sharing God's love and bringing hope to the world. Have a great night.